Hello students, welcome to SS Academy for Law. So this is Dr. Srinivas. So I was in front of you today. This is my fourth session to discuss regarding the wage boards and the pay commissions. Okay, in the previous classes I discussed about the minimum wages and what is the commission, reason behind and origin behind bringing the Minimum Wages Act 1948, and at the same time I also discussed about the commission behind bringing the Payment of Wages Act 1936. Okay, so Payment of Wages Act 1936 and Minimum Wages Act 1948 two are being brought with the initiation of the Whistler Commission. Okay, and at the same time in the previous class I discussed about how the wages will be fixed. So here let's pay attention on what are the machineries which play the role, a vital role I can say, in fixing the wages for the workers. So wage policies are decided by these three institutions. One is collective bargaining and adjudication, and the second one is wage boards, and the final one is the pay commission. Okay, so when coming to the the minimum wages, or even regarding the wages even in organized and unorganized sector, in the previous classes only I was being emphasized that minimum wages of the workers working in unorganized sector is protected by the Minimum Wages Act 1948. Okay, so there is no unions there in the unorganized sector, so that the reason there is no matter of collective bargaining takes place coming to the matter of the Minimum Wages Act 1948. Why? Because unorganized sector where people are working, so there is no union, there is no chance of collective bargaining with the management. So that the reason to protect their basic wages. Are you understanding? So we brought the Minimum Wages Act 1948. So where this collective bargaining matter will come across means where the organized workers are working, where the people are working in organized sector, I can say. Okay, so people working in organized sector, like that we use lot of consumer goods, so all that being manufactured in some respected industries, all these are comes under organized industries. So where the people are working in such organized industries, there this collective bargaining will take place. So this I already discussed about this jargon. Collective bargaining means if one worker, two workers, three workers cannot able to fight with the management. Why? Because they are financially weak and they might be lacking the knowledge and ignorance of labor laws, so that the reason they could not able to talk and raise their voice or even protest with the management, deep pocketed managements. So that the reason collective bargaining is a weapon in the hands of the workers. Collective bargaining means all together the workers they send their representative in the form of union leader, so that unions will talk with the management and the government, and they will protect the interest of the workers working in organized sector. So my discussion here is about, in the previous classes my discussion is about people working in unorganized sector. Their Minimum Wages Act 1948 is protected their minimum wage. But here today's discussion is about people working in organized sector, where their wages have been protected by these three bodies. One is called collective bargaining and adjudication, the second one is wage boards, and third one is pay commission. Of course, where wage boards will be applied, where pay commission will be applied, that we will discuss in the coming slide. Now let us pay attention on first point. As I mentioned, people working in organized sector, their wages have been protected by collective bargaining. Their union leaders represent on behalf of the workers a large number of workers, on behalf of large number of workers, huge number of workers. A recognized trade union will talk with the management and the government, so it is a tripartite machinery. Are you understanding? Where there is a tripartite machinery, there the collective bargaining will take place. Sometimes government may also does not involve directly management and the workers representative, we also call it as a trade unions, will discuss and a collective bargaining will take place. Are you understanding? Whose bargaining power is more, they can able to, are you understanding, bypass the another, and they can able to come to some opinion and conclusion and a figure and all these things. Okay, then what is the word of adjudication? You might be having a doubt. So when the management and the workers could not able to come to a conclusion, could not able to come to a consensus or understanding after a thorough negotiation, I can say. Okay, and after a thorough bargaining, a thorough negotiation, they could not able to come to a consensus, then at a time that matter will goes into the court, then we use the word adjudication. Then here the court will intervenes, like I mentioned in the previous class. Okay, it may be a high court or a supreme court or a labor court. There the matter is going to be settled. So that is called adjudication. So where the people are working in organized sector, okay, so there this collective bargaining and adjudication machinery will be there. Now the second one is wage boards. As I mentioned, few industries will have a system of wage boards. Okay, so that is what nothing but in the wage boards also this collective bargaining will takes place. There also in the wage boards, when the matter is not settled, it will go to adjudication. Okay, so wage boards, for example, a textile industry, steel and iron industry, coal mines, all these industries will have a wage boards. So wage boards will revise the wages of the employees at regular intervals of for every 3 years. Okay, but it should be at least once in a before 3 years, before 5 years, sorry, before 5 years. So for every 3 years and before 5 years, there should be a review of the wages of the employees. Okay, in the industries like what I mentioned, like very big industries where we have a system of wage boards. Okay, so and pay commission is for the central and the state government. So let's pay attention on this collective bargaining and adjudication, what I previously discussed. So collective bargaining is a procedure. Okay, so through that procedure a compromise, the discussion between the management and the workers and the government, they come to a conclusion. We call it as nothing but a compromise stage. They will come to a compromise stage, and they reach a consensus stage. Okay, after a thorough bargaining, a thorough negotiation, I can say. Okay, so that is, we call it as a balancing of opposed strengths. Okay, yeah, that's what. If these problems are not settled through collective bargaining, yeah, even after the collective bargaining, if they could not able to come to a conclusion, then they may be settled through voluntary arbitration. So what is voluntary arbitration means? They encourage the third person to come and solve the problem between the management and the workers. So that might be a, also we call it as an adjudication, where they take the help of a court to solve the problem of this salary and all these things, which is okay, which they could not able to solve by their own, the matter which is between the management and the workers. Now that is going to be solved by the third party. It may be a labor court or a high court or a supreme court, or understanding. Okay, or a respected government representative may come. Okay, so then he is also going to solve the problem. Okay, we call it as a conciliator. Okay, so that process we call it as a voluntary arbitration or adjudication. Okay, now what is wage boards? So this is one of the important institutions, okay, which has been formed by the government for the fixing of the wages. Okay, that is, we call it as a revision of the wages at regular intervals of time, as I mentioned, for every 3 years. Okay, but should not be should be done before 5 years. Okay, yeah. Separate wage boards are set up for separate industries. Yes. Separate wage boards are for all cement industries. There is a wage board. For all iron and steel plants, there is a wage board. For all mining industries, there is a wage board. Okay, so like that, wage boards will revise the salaries of the workers working in the concerned industries for every regularly for every 3 years. Okay, yeah. Each wage board consists of one neutral chairman, okay, two independent members, okay, and so that chairman will be very neutral. He will not be either from the management or either from the workers. Okay, these two independent members also not from the management or not from the workers representative like a trade union. He is independent. He is a respected person, okay, who is having a domain and functional knowledge on these labor laws. Okay, so that is like how in corporates we have an independent directors. Okay, so like that their role is very, very autonomous, I can say. Okay, they cannot be influenced, and they naturally they won't get influenced also. So okay, and at the same time, and 2 or 3 representative from the workers, and similarly from the management. So here management representative, workers representative, 2 independent members, and 1 neutral chairman is also nothing but an independent person. Okay, so like this all together will form a committee. That committee will decide, revise the wages for every 3 years for the concerned industry. So like that every industry will have a wage board like this. So what wage boards will do means, the wage board will study, it will take a lot of factors into consideration. So before giving a recommendation how much wage they have to go for a revision and all these things. Okay, so then they will submit to the government. The government may accept this or may not accept this. Okay, sometimes if the government feel that it is against to the interest of the workers, sometimes, or our understanding it is not, if sometimes, okay, so then or sometimes what happens, no, even there is a chance that the greediness of the workers are understanding, they may demand huge salary, so which is not at all possible for the entrepreneurs. Okay, so that such type of issues also might be there in that juncture. So that managements will bring it to the notice of the government. Okay, in that case also this government will modify, and or it may reject it, and government will again discuss with the management and the workers, and it will decide, and it will revise the pay as per the consensus and as per the satisfaction of the both the management and the workers. Okay, so like that. And the recommendations accepted by the government are enforceable by the parties concerned. Yes, then government will give a recommendation basing upon the submission made by the wage board. Government may accept, may reject, or may do some modifications. Then again it has been then it will be enforceable. Okay, then only it will be enforceable. That enforceable one should be honored by the management and the workers and workers representatives. So these factors wage boards will take into consideration. Okay, so before fixing or revising the wages, okay, periodically. So that is number 1 is job evaluation. So this I already discussed in the previous class. Job evaluation means comparing of the job with one job and another job, or understanding the worth of value of the job to the organization, how much that value addition that particular designation will give to the organization. So like that, so many scientific analysis will be takes place in job analysis. That is okay. So analysis, that is nothing but job evaluation. Okay, so with a lot of scientific analysis, so they decide the wages. So that is one of the most scientific method, that is nothing but job evaluation. And the wage rates for similar jobs in comparable industries. So for particular job will be there. Okay, a software engineers might be working in different industries. Software engineers may required for the manufacturing industries also. may required for logistics company, may required for e-commerce, and may also required for transportation industry. Everywhere we use the softwares, we require software engineers. So what are the salaries of the software engineers in the other sectors? That will take into consideration. Accordingly, they will decide the wages for the software engineers in the various industries. Okay, so wage rates for similar jobs in comparable industries they will take into consideration. Next, employees productivity also they will take into consideration. Sometimes some industries where the productivity of the employees is our understanding gives a lot of value addition to the organization, despite of the technology and all these things, then naturally the wages will be huge. Now you take coal mines like industries, mining like industries, any mining where the sweated labor will be there. Despite of all the technology we use, human intervention is very very important. So that's the reason the wages for such employees will be very very huge. So why? Because their productivity cannot be replaced with any technology and all these things. Okay, even we use the machinery also, so the people's intervention is required. Okay, workers intervention is very very important. Okay, yeah, for example, in underground coal mines, we cannot imagine a robot to go inside and dig the coal, and that is not at all possible. So that technology was not yet been invented, I can say. Okay, so workers have such a huge value there. So in such industries, employees will have a huge salaries. Okay, firm's ability to pay is also very very important. As I mentioned in the previous classes, if the employer's ability is less, are you understanding, then the employees cannot expect good wages. Okay, and various wage legislations also wage board will take into consideration, and existing level of wage differentials and their desirability also take into consideration, and at the same time government objectives also will be taken into consideration regarding the social justice. Okay, so governments, sometimes the governments, ours is a welfare state, government have a lot of what do you say, intervention in our understanding, increase the standard of life of the people. Okay, our workers, I can say, like uh, we have a direct to principles of state policy. Direct to principles of state policy, in that labor welfare is one of the important concept, where our constitution is also a welfare constitution. So government will always will try to improve the quality of the life of the workers. Are you understanding? So that also should be taken into consideration by the wage boards. Okay, and social equality, economic justice and economic equality, all these factors also have an influence. Okay, and where that industry is existing is also have an important thing. So place of the industry in the economy and society of the country and the region. Okay, and that need for incentives, improvement in productivity, etc. Yes, sometimes what happens, sometimes in some industries where lot of incentives will be given to improve the productivity. So until unless some extra incentives will be given, then we cannot meet the deadlines of the production. Okay, sometimes in the peak season, our understanding, for example, even the latest companies like even Amazon, our understanding, even so many companies who are in logistics and e-commerce, in the festive season, people have to meet the demand of the customers. They have to work extra. For that they should be given some incentives. Same is the case as I mentioned. Okay, even in it takes place in the transport industry also, and even in the power sector also, when there was a lot of demand for that particular industry or a particular product, where we have to require an extra hands to meet that demand. Then we have to give more salary to the existing employees, and we have to, then only we can able to serve the customers, okay, and we can protect our industry. So their employer is forced to give the incentives, so that is also will be taken into consideration. The wage boards fix and revise various components of wages. So these wage boards will fix and it will revise regularly, okay, according to the necessary changes like inflation, taking inflation into consideration, and so many other factors into consideration. So what are that important components are going to be revised, I can say fix means that is the basic pay, dearness allowance, incentive earnings, overtime payment, okay, HRA, house rent allowance, and other allowances. All these things are going to be regularly revised and fixed, okay. And pay commission, this is the last one, okay, for whom the pay commission means people working in state and central government, their wages, salaries will be revised with the pay commission, okay. Pay commissions are separately constituted by central and state governments. Yes, state government have a separate pay commissions, and every particular state governments have their particular state pay commissions, okay. Now coming to the central government, so far we have appointed 7 pay commissions, okay. So the first pay commission was appointed by Government of India in the year 1946 with Varadacharya as the chairman. The 6th pay commission was cleared in 2008. Actually it is due by 2006 only, but by the delay, after delay of 2 years, okay, with the recommendation of Sri Krishna Commission in 2008, all the central government employees and state government employees got the benefit of this 6th pay commission, okay. Of course they might have been paid the arrears for these 2 years. Next, the pay commission takes the following factors into consideration, okay. Like I mentioned, the wage boards will take so many factors into consideration. Same is the case, pay commission also will take few factors into consideration. What are that means? Earnings of employees in the state government, private sector, unorganized and agriculture sector. Yes, to decide the wages for the employees working in state and central government, this pay commission will take the incomes of the agriculture people, the incomes of the people working in unorganized sector, income of the people working in private organized sector, incomes of the people working in state government. For example, central government wants to decide the pay commission for their central government employees. They take all the state government's pay commission into consideration, incomes of the agriculture people, incomes of the people working in unorganized and organized sector. So like that they do a comparative study and they will decide the wages for the central government. Same the state government also will do the similar job when deciding the pay commission for the state government employees. State government, while deciding the salary for the state government employees, they take central pay commission into consideration, and remaining this organized and unorganized agriculture farmers income into consideration. So that they will come to a conclusion, so that they will fix a figure. That's the reason we not have that much of lot of variations between the salaries of the state and central government sometimes, I can say, okay, for some majority of the designations, okay. So why? Because this much of lot of background study will take place in deciding the wages for the state and the central government in the form of pay commission. So what is the second point here means enforcement of the minimum wages. Yes, they take the minimum wages also into consideration. As I mentioned in the previous class, minimum wages, this wage is a matter in the concurrent list. Means here state have an intervention and central government also have an intervention. So it is a concurrent list. It is not purely a state government's matter, and it is not purely a central government's matter. So that's the reason this minimum wage varies from state to state. As I mentioned in the previous class, Delhi's minimum wage is around some 14,000 per month, but coming to the AP and Telangana, it is around 11,000, 12,000 like that. When going to the Bihar, it is only just 9,000. So that's the reason where the minimum wages is less in particular state, that particular state's labor will migrate to the other states where the minimum wages is high. So that's the reason we noticed that people from Jharkhand, Bihar, Orissa will migrate to the other states where the minimum wages is more than the minimum wages of Bihar. Okay, and cost of living index also will takes into consideration. Inflation also it will take into consideration. Pay commission and share of the government employees earnings in the national income also they will take into consideration. Okay, so like this in this session I paid attention on the this missionaries which will decide the wages for the organized sector people and people working in organized sector, and at the same time people working in state and central governments. Okay, so here I discussed about the three important missionaries. One is the collective bargaining and adjudication, and wage boards, and the pay commission. Okay, so I will catch you in my next session with another topic on labor laws. Thank you so much. Please subscribe this SS Academy for Law, and don't forget to press the bell symbol and share it to your friends. Subscribe it. Okay, I appreciate for your subscriptions. Okay, your encouragement will encourage me to do much more videos on this subject and also on some current topics. Okay, thank you so much.